So you can see that the bot's running. Again, if you wanted to, you can check your currency and you can see that in fact it is updating. It should be pulling from Elasticache across the wire to my AWS server, so it may take a little bit. Okay, I'm happy with that. And we're going to set up our routing. So the other thing that we could work on is the currency to get warmed up. So I don't know if we want to spend 20 minutes on that. Actually, why don't we do that? Let me add a timer here. This one. And then we want to duplicate this one. And I think we're ready. Okay, so let's take a look at where we left off. We want to set up our routing. So to do that, I need to look here at my PHS under my program. And at the moment, when I'm receiving a message here, I'm not doing any of this routing stuff here, but I have this little temporary thing that I created here. Sorry. It's always first thing in the morning. Sinuses. Okay. So if we're passing in something that looks like pixels, then I'm just creating a bunch of different crap in order to parse over and then just check to see. So this is just one temporary thing. So this isn't going to work. So what I need to do here is when I get a message, let me look at this here on my piece of paper here. So I have to map this for just a minute. Let me get this running. So if I'm a user over here, I have an account ID. I'm going to have a number of these different streams. And each stream is going to have a variety of different channels. One of them is a routing. One is a routed, pardon me. So this includes allie.chat on the routing. Okay, sorry, I'm just writing it out here. And then, oh, let me do one thing here. Okay, I think we're good there. Where's my keyboard? I don't even see that. Just a second. It's in my, just a second here. It's on the, there it is. Just give it a second. Okay. Let's kill this app. Now let's run it one more time, and then we'll be good. Okay, all right, finally. Okay, so one account has a couple of different streams that has both routing and routed. Each of these have channels in them. And routeds have different bots in them, like that, okay? And so now over here, this is on my client side. And so now over here on my server side, I'm gonna have channels. Which goes to messages, right? And it's going to be going the other direction this time. So your messages are going to be leading to your channels, which then are going to be applied on your, and so your route is going to go to so you're receiving messages on all of these ones, so it's not sending those anywhere unless you set up events to send them out. Okay, and then just a second here. And then you have each one of these different bots, which is going to be routing messages out, right? So, for example, in my overlay, if I want to send a message across, okay, I want to have it hit at my TCP connection, and then it's going to broadcast that out to the stream. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to pass an object here then from my server. So my client's going to pass in an object, and then it's going to receive it on this stream. And then you can say here you're going to have an option to broadcast TCP. And then you can say which events, because that's separate than all these bots. Okay? So that means that when I send a TCP message to the server, I want to pass the stream ID. So my group is going to be on a stream ID, right? Okay, so that means that you want to get an object, which is your channels, which has a number of streams in it. Okay. And their ID. And then I also want to make sure that just another second here, number of streams in it plus the ID, okay. So when a TCP message comes in, it's going to hit a stream, and then it's going to go to each one of the, okay, that's one of the hits, and then the other one is you're going to have a TCP connection, which is going to be a socket ID or something, or a socket, and a stream ID. So that's the linking factor there. Same thing with a WebSocket. So stream ID is going to be the thing that dictates whether it's been broadcast or not. Okay, so let's write it. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is I probably need to create something in here which is a routing business logic layer or something, right? I'll probably just put it in here. And we're going to say that this is called, well, let's just say BLL route. And I'll change this to be routes. And we're going to have this thing inherit from, I don't know. Oh, I guess we're not doing currency, so we can remove these two, right? Okay, I'm ready. So let's go ahead and implement routing. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a new BLL here called routes, okay? So let's go ahead and have this inherit from the appropriate BLL base. And then I think that's also an iBLL base for that, which I think also inherits iDisposable or something. What's going on here? If I look at this just to make sure, yeah, this inherits disposable, which is fine. As does this, yeah. So we already know that this thing is disposable. It says that this thing needs to have a constructor for a mapper. Easy enough. Now, we actually want to have a couple more things. We want to have our I client, base client service of my I client service allie.chat server. Okay. And then we want to have the I don't think I need anything for polling for this one, so that's fine. So we can do a BLL base client service here for I client service allie.chat server. And then it's going to want to have that new constructor like that. Okay. And now let's see. So I had here something called a command system, right? Where did that go? It was a client services for this, which has a set in memory commands and a process memory chat. That's not one I care about at the moment. So what we need to get here is just a second. So we're going to have something here called a public void message received. And so now this thing's going to have a reference to your object that's containing all your sockets, which is this clients. So we're going to use the events in this, okay? So now we can go TCP async server, TCP server, and then we can add it here. You should be able to assign something here like a connection event. Perfect. It has to be that because I use this multiple times, okay? And then here you have something to override. This dispose, which is going to be your TCP server dot connection event minus equals to your on TCP connection event. But only if this thing does not equal to null. Okay. Do you have another one here? This one could be on TCP message event. Okay. Now you're going to need something in here that's holding a reference to all your streams, right? Hold on. Well, what it is it's a list of all the unduplicated channels with the number of streams in it. So if you look at a channel view model here in your server, okay, so this is what I want. I need to make one that's similar to this. So instead, what I'm going to do is, this is fine here. You need to have a list of your, first, a protected, well, when you're, okay, first things, I want to look at this because I have to do my authorization in here. So when I'm having this connection event here, and you're starting this end of line characters, where is it that you're receiving it? Accept callback, signal the main thread to continue, get the socket that handles the client request, add your number of connections. This is going to be a new connection. You're creating the state object, which is I believe that's a socket or something. Yeah, handler here. So this is your socket. Where are you adding these? Up here, you have these number of clients, and then you have clients. Let's do this, find all references. Here you go, accept callback right here. Okay, so what I need to do is, we probably want to pass in the access token immediately. Oh, that was a terrible, terrible thing that I just heard in the song. Ugh, that was awful. Okay. So here, if you're looking at these clients, you'll also need to have a ID associated with them, like a user. Okay, so let's do it like this. We're gonna go ahead and say that, hey there, Matthias. What song? How's it going, man? Oh, I got it. Go pump it into here. But these are going up on YouTube, so it's going pretty well. This is a really challenging thing that I'm trying to do today, so I've sketched it like an insane person. So here, this is the socket that I'm adding so that I can use this client, but Now see, I don't really want to build onto this one. So here, when I'm passing in this new connection, okay, we can do this all out of this class so I don't screw with it. So what I mean by that is we can do a protected, we'll do a new class in here, right? We'll make it a data transfer object. And we're going to say that this is a we'll put it here in networking, and we're going to say that this thing is a socket identity DTO. Okay. Okay, this is actually a base request at the moment because I haven't changed this. Sorry, it's a base, yeah, base view model, sorry. Okay. And all this is going to have on it is a socket. And then also a user server DTO. Now, you actually could have multiple of this. So it'll be this. Right? So we're going to say that this is a network identity DTO. We'll change the name of that. Okay. So now here you're going to have a I just a second. So you're going to have two things. You're going to have this socket here, like this. And we're going to say that these are a connections not authorized. And then we could have a, sorry, not that one, protected I collection here of your network identity DTO. That's how we want to do that. Okay. Let's go ahead and not. So we want to do this as this one as a I concurrent. I'm sorry, we're going to say it's a concurrent dictionary. And we'll do this as a GUID and then this network identity. Okay. This one is going to be a, oh, I don't want to do this as a bag. I hate using a concurrent bag because you can end up having duplicates. So we'll just do another one here, like this, and we'll do it with a hash code. So here, on a connection event, you're going to switch on your connection event type. So when we get a new connection here, we can receive a socket, right? So you can do a connections not authorized socket. So we want to add it. And it's going to be the e.socket.id hash code. That's an integer. So let's go up and change that. I don't know if this is actually going to work because I don't know if it's modifying the socket, but it might not be. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it'll be interesting in either case. And then we'll do the socket here, which is e.socket. Okay. And here you can just do this where you're going to do a try to remove it. Well, let's not worry about that yet. So here, for each, if my connections not authorized dot contains key e.socket dot get hash code, and otherwise we'll just assign a unique identifier in here, okay? So if it does contain that key, now right here, this should be the OAuth token from the website for the registered application. And at the moment, we'll just test it. Okay. Now we can try this. Let's change this. We're just going to call this BLL routes. And so now here in the application, when I'm starting this, okay, where is it? I guess you are going to want to do this in the factory since it's a BLL anyways. And you'll need to do an interface on this. This is kind of annoying. It's actually really similar to what I have in Unity, which is really funny. If you look at this one versus this is what I have in Unity for like a startup. Right? Just with coroutines. You can see how clean it is with Unity versus... But there's definitely better ways to do this. People have been telling me to use this as DLLs and use reflection off of the assembly to decide which ones I want. I haven't seen it yet. I think if Mubot jumps in, I can ask him again. So here, we should be able to do like a var BLL routes equals new BLL routes. And this should be your client service. This should be your OAuth token. This should be your paths mapper. And then your TCP server. This is called client service allie.chat. Paths allie.chat. Where's your... This isn't here, right? Interesting. So this doesn't return here in the factory. This actually has to wait until after the TCP server's been started. So actually, let's just do it like this, and then we'll add in the BLL OAuth here, and this one. Okay, TCP server here needs to be passed in. Async TCP async server. I really like that the new update in Visual Studio is suggesting more paths, or it could be legacy from when I had resharp run here for all of 10 minutes. And let's add routes there. Now, if I look at this, oh, it needs another one, which is a okay. So anytime that this thing receives a message, it should just write if it's been in there, and it should, because if it's a new connection, it's going to try to add it. Let's see. But see, I don't really want to use a hash code. I think I should probably assign a unique ID for it in another class before it gets here. Probably the one from event args, huh? No, it would have to be from the wrapper that you made for TCP. I just didn't really want to play around in there, but I think you have to. This thing wants that TCP server, which is here. Okay, let's try it. So we're going to have this thing join another channel, someone that has more messages than me. So the server started. Was that it? Did the rest not start? What? Let me try it again here. That's so strange. I don't know if you guys saw, but we got our currency system completed too. I really need to deploy this thing. So, I mean, that looks fine. It didn't like it because it's returning null. So if I change this, where I'm doing start, oh, come on. Here, I think I can just do this. And that should solve it. Let's see. Because it's only creating the object in now the main thread, but I'm not subscribing any methods or any events or anything yet. Okay, see, now it's kicking through. So let's go ahead and we need to add another channel. Actually, no, I don't. Did it add it? It says that it's been added. Am I currently broadcasting out? No. So it's very strange. It's like this one didn't get the connection event. Well, let's check it here. Let's check it again. Actually, let me think about that. I probably want to move the thread start to the end. Because they're starting on the other thread. Give me just another second to think here. Okay, I'm going to make some changes. When I look at this thing we want to have running in the other thread. This is wrong to not have it do that in this one. So in the program, right here, when you have start, you want to have something here called a protected virtual, I want to say start server thread. We'll say server thread. And we can actually take this whole thing here, right? This is a void. I guess it's a bool, sorry. And it needs to pass in a, well, we'll fix that here in just a second. This is your thread. Actually, let's not do that yet. You need to pass in that thread, which is this. Okay. And now here you want to start that thread, which is here. like that. We don't need to return anything, okay? This should be a volatile. Like that. We need to definitely make sure that we also include the protected IP address. And then also the protected and port. And then also the port. And then here we want to do a, just a second. We want to start it. These two are now class variables. And this will be a return true. And then I'll just have this while loop so it'll never stop. Until this is false, which happens when you run stop. So that looks a lot better, right? And since it's volatile, now you won't ever have to worry about that happening multiple times. I like how it wants to change these things now with a question mark dot invoke. You could probably still make it even prettier. Interesting. Okay. How are you guys doing this morning? Okay, now let me see. Check it, check it, check it. We have to make sure that we put our thread aborts in the other class. This thing you're saying is not disposable, so when you do a stop, yeah, just like that. Okay, let's go ahead and rebuild it. We'll move that down there so it's a little prettier too. Okay. 0 conflicts, let's run it. So now when we get a message, it should like here, for each client in there, you're supposed to be sending it when you receive something. So let's try that. Give it a second here. Waiting for any message to come in. Didn't receive anything there. Does it say that the TCP server is running? I don't think you ever started it. Ah, so you didn't save this whole thing like that, right? Okay. Okay, let's give that a whirl. And then we should probably commit this out to GitHub. Okay, you can see that now the TCP server has successfully started. We'll wait, give it a second here. Okay, that's looking good. Let's go ahead and commit that. Okay, I also want to, I'm committing my, oh, I have to commit PHS here. That's easy. Okay, so we'll do that in just a second here. So this is running now, so we should be able to do. Okay, I still don't see any message being received here. Well, you don't have a client hooked up to it, so let's hook up a client. Try it again, see if that builds. Give it a second. I guess we also have one over here that we could run. Okay, so here's our connection event. Okay, it added this. I guess it's not showing if it's connected anymore, that's fine. But these two are working, so that's fine. Okay. Okay, this time, hey there, Meta. Yeah, I could use some test messages actually while we're doing this. This is being a little bit weird. So it's never firing on TCP message event from my server. Right here. If anybody wants to give some test messages here. Oh yeah. So I don't think that this is ever firing, hey Beer Chug, I like to talk. How you doing, Beer Chug? It's been a bit. Welcome back. So here, 1, 2, 3 test. Thank you guys. I'll need some help here in just another second. It's not quite right because we're not, when I received a message here, you know what it is that currently in my BLL that you've created, you don't have any messages coming in from Twitch. It's only coming in from the TCP server. So you need to make sure that here, protected I BLL it was called BLL provider Twitch, BLL provider Twitch, allie.chat. What's up, man? You created. Not much, just working on this project. It's coming along pretty nicely. We actually got most of the functionality kind of stuff in it, and I just kind of tie the pieces together, and then we got to clean up that front end. And that'll be it. I'm excited to get finished with this one. This should be BLL provider Twitch. And we'll inject that here. We might as well make this multiple, just in case. So that means that here now you're going to have a for each var BLL provider Twitch and BLL provider Twitches. Then you're going to do a BLL providers Twitch equals BLL providers Twitch. Like that. And then you want to do a interesting. There we go. Come on. There we go. Channel event, connection event, bot events. So now here you want to have something that's a message event on Twitch message event. And then you're going to have another one called a on Twitch. I don't think you need any more than that. Let's see if we can get rid of any of these things. We can get rid of that one. We can probably get rid of this one here too. Simplify these names up. And let's make this a protected virtual void. So now what we want to do is a for each var item in your like that. We're going to say for each provider Twitch here. Okay. No, you don't want this one. You have a TCP server dot. And you want to send to anybody right now. We'll send this out. And the message that we want is the item dot value. And then the message here is e dot message. And we want to do this as a JSON convert dot serialize object. Sorry, this is a hard one today. Okay. So now that's going to send this to every single connection that's not authorized at the moment, which is fine because when we get a TCP message event, we should receive one right here. This should send this message out to everybody. And then over on the client, and now here you could do something like this. Let's make sure we don't give ourselves a memory leak. Oh, I think you're already... Okay. So here, all you want to do now is a network connection dot send message, and it's going to be e dot message dot okay, so now we should see it bounce back and forth here. And then when it comes back in, it's going to hit this TCP event. And we should check to see if that socket's in there, because it should have added it here. Let's check it. So you could just do this. Here we go, let's run that. In the meantime, I'm going to go and open my Git on this project because I moved everything. Just one folder, just 1 second. And this one we're going to say implementing TCP server and routing. Okay. Here you can see that my connection event is going to be server start, so I don't care about that one. That's fine. Remember, I wrote that, so I'm pretty confident with how it works. I've been using it for a while. Not in this project, but I use this, we all make tool sets. Okay, so it's added. Now let's add our client. Okay. Oh, I probably did that too soon, huh? But I didn't see it on BLL routes on a Twitch message. Oh, well, we could check that. I'll give this another second. Did this already start? You forgot to start this here. One more try. Okay, here we go. This one's fine. Let's get this thing started. Okay, here's our new connection event. Okay, here we go. We got a new TCP connection here. We added it. It never fired my on Twitch message event. Oh, there it is. So for each one of my sockets in there, we're going to send it. Okay. Over here on the routes, we're going to check to see if it exists, and it does. So that means that it's fine and that it's working, and everything's going to kick back and forth now as we want. Now the problem is that here in your overlay count, every time that you receive a message, it's going to send it back. And then over here, if it is there, but this is on Twitch message event. So here, where you were sending this back, this is in your allie.chat. You have this code here that says that every time that you receive a TCP server message, you're going to just send it back. We can actually get rid of that. And we can get rid of that one, and then probably this one down here. What are we doing with this? Just a little write, a little note. Okay. So that works great. So now here, you need to pass in a OAuth token. So to do this, you do await var message equals, and it should be, at the moment, the first message should be, hold on. We can just follow Twitch convention. This is your access token here. This one here is going to be the message, right? We also have something here called a message event type. What's that? If it's queued, perfect. So if this is received, now if this thing is not authorized, then Okay, so now here we're going to say if my e.message.length is greater than OAuth.length, so now our submessage, so our access token here should be it's going to be the e.message.substring of the from the OAuth.length, and we want to run that all the way till the end, which is our e.message.length. Hit the web API here and check to see if account, register this socket, and authorize. So now here what you want to do is you want to do a console.writeLine, OAuth token received. Just for right now, right? And then you want to take that let's say try remove here. And this will be out var socket. Now here you can do connections authorize.add, try add. And then you can pass in your new network identity, which was your socket dot BLL TCP connection. Just a second. That's a new list. I'm sorry, it's a new list of socket. And you want to make sure that this one includes your socket. And then also this user server DTO, which at the moment we're just going to create one. Let's see, Metathias says, I've had to use Linux a lot lately, a lot of typing. I don't know how you guys do it. Typing all day can be quite painful. Yeah, you get used to it, but it is painful. With Unity, I've changed actually my development style though with it, and I'm emulating a little bit more what you guys are doing in Unity, in Unreal. And I'm creating individual objects that are component based so that I can spend a lot more time in the editor and less time putting things into code. This one is for a server, so it's just really... Okay, here. This is a username is going to be a GUID.newGUID .toString, and then also my ID I don't care about for now. Now this thing wants here a GUID which is this should be by a ID. So we'll say just a GUID.newGUID here. So now here you could say connections authorized on a Twitch message event. You'll receive that for everyone there. And then it's going to be for each var socket in item, which you're going to change to be connections. And now here you could do so now once you're in the authorized sockets, you should be receiving messages. And here you're checking to see if you've been authorized. And if you have, then you start to receive them. Otherwise you don't, and you just get removed. So if your first message is not, okay. Do you have another one for on received? I don't think so. Okay. So now if you look back at the other program, this is your console app. When you receive a message from on TCP message event, then all you want to do is print it. Could you do like a JSON convert.serialize object? So here, on a connection event, if it is a new connection, let me go ahead and copy this because this is just temporary. So you're saying that if this is a new connection, then what you want to do is you want to send this OAuth Let's try that. Nice, looking forward to see more of that. I have not seen compartmentalized behaviors like that in Unity. Oh yeah, I'm actually applying the same principle to my regular programming as well. I find that the modularized programming seems to help a lot. Okay, here we go, we got a new connection event here, that's fine. I don't care about seeing that. Now we can go ahead and start this console test app. Here's a new connection. It says new connection and then a new disconnection. So it said null. So why did it do that? Just a second. On a TCP message event, it's just going to return the serialized object. We could just do it at this whole args, right? That's fine. So over here on the server, not that one. It's in the BLL that you're writing. BLL provider, no, BLL routes. We're just going to take a look here. See what happens. We'll start this TCP server client. Callback error. What's that for? It's fine. Try it again. So it says that I'm getting a connect callback error right now. Over on the client. Hold on. So let's check it here. So strange. Hold on. Something weird happened here. I'm ready to remove this and see if this resolves anything. Just a second. I have a feeling that that's bad. Let's see. Okay, it's loaded. It says that the TCP server started. Now it's giving me all kinds of problems. It's so bizarre what's happening. Try it one more time. It's like something's running and it's not opening the port up. Or is it losing reference to it? I don't think so now, because you're not removing it anymore. I don't understand. Ah, it's here. Because I don't think it's finished with that one that it's sending. Okay, so that's what it is. Yeah, see, that fixed it. Okay. So here, when you look at this, is this on a timer or something? Isn't this on its own thread? So wouldn't this be the best to have something in here that's like doing a rate check? Because this is a... So we'll do a protected volatile bool network rate check. No, we'll just say is thread running. So you should have something here like a protected concurrent dictionary. Now, what other ones do we have available here? Concurrent, and we have a concurrent queue. And we want to do this of string. And this is going to be called outgoing messages equals a new list, a new queue, whatever, right? So here, while is thread running, you want to stop that, and then here you want to say is thread stopped equals true. Like that. And the reason you're doing that is because here now you can say while is thread stopped, I'm sorry, while is thread running is false, then you can just do a thread.sleep for just a little bit until this is done. Because then when it's done, it's going to break out, which is fine. And now what I want to do is I want to do a outgoing messages dot. So let's make a list. No, we just want to do a for each var item in outgoing messages. You want to do item dot. That's a string. So now you can just do a client dot send to server item. So this, you should probably just make a var queue copy. No, I don't like that. You're going to do a so here you could say polling rate, protected float, poll rate in milliseconds. Or you want to say TCP rate limit milliseconds. So now here we're going to change this to be if my outgoing messages.count is greater than 0, then you want to do a var message equals outgoing messages.dequeue. Try dequeue. So we could just actually do this if we do an outgoing messages.try dequeue, which is going to be a out var message. Then you want to send that message to the server. And then you want to do a thread.sleep for your interval rate limit, TCP rate limit milliseconds. So now when you send this message, all you're going to do is your messages, outgoing messages.queue, try queue, enqueue, message. If this is your network connection, and here you had this connection here where you were sending this, let's get rid of this. Wait. But if you look at network connection, I think you already have that here for when you have a connect on connection event. So here, let's do a string, and we're going to say my OAuth token. Okay, we'll pass that here. Okay. So on a connection event here, you're going to do a switch. Connection event type is going to be a new connection, and we'll do this. And we're going to try sending that to the server there. No, it's not that one. You're going to enqueue it. You have something here called send message. And then we're going to check this one. And then here we're going to change this to include my OAuth token. Okay, and then we have to change over here. This is on your fake, whatever, menu crap. Sorry, I wanted to do OAuth like that. Let's try it. Okay, we got our new connection. We're going to send over our OAuth token here. We're going to try to send it to the server. The attempted operation is not supported for the type of object referenced. Let's try it again. It's right here. In my program on the overlay and on a TCP message side, we currently had it doing something. I want to get rid of those two. And then these two. Let's go ahead and close everything out, and then we'll rebuild it. Wait for it. Okay, everything ran. I'm gonna run it. That would make sense why it was having the problem. It was trying to serialize a socket, which it can't. Well, I changed that. Yeah, I know. Try it again. There it is. It's going to send the message. It's going to receive it. It's going to send it over. All right. So now I want to see this test here. Not yet, almost. And then you wanted to see on the server side when this thing hit in the BLL. This one. And now we can go ahead and enable all this. Here we go. Here we go. And we'll add this little allie.chat, the overlay app. Run that. There's the message being sent. Now we're checking it. It says that we had an exception because, let's try it again. One more try. Try that. But it looks like that this is going to work and that we can in fact pass our OAuth token now, which will set it up. And then I think the only thing that we need left is to have a ping. Okay, let's go ahead and try it again. It's going to fire it. Dun, 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 dun. Let me try one more time. Twerk it, babe. Okay, here it is. No, it's still saying the same thing, which is what? index and length must refer to a length within the string. Now let me go check that again here. This substring is what's screwed. So this is going to the this is this minus OAuth.length, and we'll add that in as a prefix or something later. Try it again. Okay, now you've been added. Let's try the client. Now that we look at this, I want to see the one that we're actually passing is this. So let me check to see. SDIO, it ends in a PDG, so you have -1 in there, like this. And that means that testy. Now what I can do is I can check to see if it's in a correct account. Var account exists equals, and we're going to await my client service that I wrote. Get account. Hold on. Where's the one that you did in the hub? Get account by access token for client services allie.chat. So let's go grab that here. This one. Let's move it down to the server. Okay. And then also we want to run this get account by access code. We need to make sure that we have that on the interface. And then also we want to make sure that we have it on the web API. That's here. Take me. Come on. Come on. There it is. Account server. So that should be fine already. So if this thing is null, I don't think we need any of this stuff here. Because you're just going to get this thing. Like that. You're just going to get the account on the server for this thing. Yeah, there it is. Let me just make sure here. Yeah. So that should be fine. And now, get account by access token. You're going to say this is my access token, and this is going to be your paths dot web API whatever whatever. Now this thing is a you'll have a protected async virtual task here called authorize connection. Task.run asynchronous where, and we're going to await on my authorized connection, like that. That's going to pass over this whole thing. Perfect. So now here, you want to check to see if this account exists. And we're just going to do this with our own token. And we can do this actually the easiest from the Unity app, I think. So let's run it. I want to get the access token that I'm using in Unity. Okay. Okay, let's run this one. It should just display my ID token when it comes in, right? Oh, you go away. Right here. Debug.log your OAuth token dot response. Okay, it's running, so it's going to connect. We're going to grab that token. Whoops, we need to run the starting one. Give it a second here. Okay, it's running. I guess we could do this. There's the token there, so now we can pause it. I'm going to copy this. Dump that over here into Notepad. Oh, come on. Okay, I got that. And so that means that down here in PHS, when I send this from here, there's the code. So now I want to see what happens because I feel like it should retrieve successfully the account that it's associated with. Okay, it's connected. Here comes the overlay out. It's going to check to see now that because we have the access token, the account does not exist, it said. Okay. We'll run it again. OAuth token received. So right here, but it didn't actually detect the correct one here. So I want to look now at the web API under the server for account. This one. Let's try it again. Okay, we hit the web API. We did get authorized. We're now going to go and check for our account. Because you're passed with, client credentials. So you don't actually care about this one. You want to have an endpoint here that says account authorized asynchronous. So all this is going to be is a get. If that's equal to null, actually I don't care, because otherwise you'll just get unauthorized. So that should actually do it. This should be a bool. So let me make another one of these below it, and we're going to say account authorized by access code. And we're just going to check to see if it's authorized. So if it is authorized, then in fact you want to let me go do this here. And we want to get the get account by access code, right? So now if it is authorized, and if I look at this thing again, this one you just want to return account server response. Okay. So if this does not equal to null, then what you want to do is you want to try adding this. And now you're going to have this new authorized dot account is equal to null. Then you want to do does not equal to null. Then you want to do authorized dot account. Otherwise, you want to do this new one. This thing says that this is an account server view model. Just a second. Which makes sense. So this would be a account server view model. Otherwise, you don't even have this, do you? We'll just have that. Oh, well, that's way better. Okay. And now you need to have some ID that you're authorizing that thing to, which will be your I don't want to do this. I want to do a get hash code here. So we'll say that this is an integer of your socket.get hash code. Like that. Let's rebuild everything. Okay, so when this is done, we'll have two tests. One to see if it's authorized successfully, and then we should start receiving our Twitch messages, and the other one will not. Else send a disconnect and a disconnect message. Okay. Let's run the test app. Yeah, I know I did it too soon. There it is. New connection. Wait, I didn't see the connection being made. We wanted to get here, right? Okay. This is not null, so it's going to add the socket, which is great. Now we're authorized. And now I should be able to testing the chat. Okay, it broke here on something, right? Well, you added this here. And then you're sending this message across for each time that you get one. There it is. There's the socket. That looks fine. So then on this side, when this receives a message, in here, like that. Okay, let's see. Everything should be working now. Okay, it's running. Here's the console app. You can see we got a new connection. It looks like that this is sending across the OAuth token. And now you can see that when we get the words, that your messages are coming through. So over here though, when you had on your TCP message, which is probably this one, so in your BLL routing, but you can see that this is working. What it was over here on this one, when you're doing on a message event, if my e.socket.get hash code does not equal to network connection dot let's open up the socket here. Almost there. I'm not a bot. That's good. This one here, we need to expose the socket. I think you do here. So here you'll add it below here. Let's put this on iCore here. Then you want to write it. Okay, let's try it one more time. We're going to do it with an access code that works and then one that doesn't. We'll see it work both ways. And we do want to send a quick message here which says that after this, if you don't initialize successfully, else you want to do a send. No, I think you have something in here called a TCP server.send, and it's going to be to the socket, and it's going to say unauthorized credentials disconnected. Please visit https www.allie.chat to register and retrieve a new OAuth token. Okay. Now, how do you do a socket shutdown here? Just a second. So if you look here at this TCP server, you need to have something here which is going to be called a public, it's going to be called a bool disconnect client, and it's going to pass in a socket. Like that, okay? So you need to implement that. Let's rebuild it. You're going to have one error. So let's go ahead and implement this. It's called public bool disconnect client, and it passes in a socket. Like this. Moment. Okay. There, and there. We'll do a catch like that. And then a return false. Okay, let that spin up. Give me just 1 second. Okay, let's check it real quick. We're going to run the console app. It should register successfully. Looks like that it did still. It's echoing for some reason. Hold on. That's okay. And then we'll just look in the BLL routes to see why it's echoing. Or is it just even just printing it over here? Just 1 more second here. I'm just tracing these things. Okay, it's interesting that it still wants to send that OAuth token back to myself here. Because I thought I said when this did not equal the same. 1 more second. It's in this one. Then you're going to add this here. So you should be okay. And you can see, in fact, that this is working. Okay. And then we're going to just try one thing over on this app, which is that we'll just add it in this A here. Let's bring in the other console app. Whoop. Okay, it tried to remove the socket here, but it never existed here, which is fine. So we'll fix that. But that actually worked. Here, unauthorized connections, please. So that works. So with that, we actually have our TCP server set up so that our authorization is being managed through our OAuth 2.0 server, which is really cool. I'm actually really happy with the way that that came out. And we'll be doing the same thing for the WebSockets for our authorization. And then for our ping and pong, I guess we have a choice where we could either make it so that that's a OAuth token that doesn't expire, or that when you respond to that, that you would send the new token. But I think that that's asking for too much. So we're going to take, pardon me, we're going to take 18-minute break. I'll put it up on the clock. I'll put some music on. I'll see you guys in just a little bit. And the next thing that we need to do is the routing, because now we know who people are. We have the accounts that they're associated with, and we'll get them all routed and set up. So if you haven't clicked the follow yet, please do. And check us out, discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. And all these videos, including this one, will be up on youtube.com/c/LiverDevTrying. I just started bringing up some of the old videos, and we should be up with the final ones before the end of the day. See you in 20.